this shit good. We had difficulties last night. Let me see. Make sure my chat good. We ain't did this in a minute, man. Make sure we straight. Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? What's happening? I hope y'all can hear me. I tried to do my post-fight reaction last night, like immediately. Y'all know how I normally do. You know what I'm saying? I either go live or just do a regular upload immediately after the fight, but there was some difficulties, said like audio and video, but we here. You feel me? We here. Shout out to the brother Freedom Care Podcast in the building. Was good. He said T only won one round. We gonna talk about it, bro. We gonna talk about TEOFIMO Lopez versus JAMAINE Ortiz. We gonna break that down, give our reaction on that. You know what we thought about the fight. And then I don't know if y'all just heard the news that Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia have apparently struck a deal. So y'all know how Ryan be doing, man. We not gonna put too much stock into that, but we gonna talk about it. Shout out to my brother D Luckett in the building. What's good? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother Devson Andrade in the building. What's good? Said crazy how fighters on this level still don't know how to cut the ring off. Facts. That's facts. So let's go ahead and dive into it, man. This is our post-fight reaction. So all in all, the main event, Lopez and Ortiz was a very competitive fight through and through. I would say I had Ortiz up for the better part of the fight. I believe going into the 8th round, I had, let me say this, going into the 9th round, I had Ortiz up 6-2, but there were a couple of swing rounds in there. I had Ortiz up 6-2. Now, I could have seen how somebody would have had Ortiz 5-3. That's important because you got to think about the back end of the fight. I thought Ortiz was boxing very well in the first half of the fight. He was using his jab. The first 2 rounds I split, Ortiz and Tszyu. I split those 2 rounds, 1-1. And then from there, Ortiz started to build some momentum. And, you know, he really started to find his distance, was keeping Tszyu at bay, being able to hit and not get hit, was using the ring very well, was sharp. The jab was looking good. He was circling away from Tszyu's right hand, which had been at play the whole night. Also, Tszyu's left hand was at play too. He kind of had a couple of grazing shots, but nothing really landed stiff for Tszyu in the first half of the fight. But, you know, like I said, Ortiz was boxing real good, but something changed. Something happened that changed the whole trajectory of that fight. I think y'all know what it was. I forget what round it was, but it was a headbutt that caused the cut for Ortiz. That changed the fight. That cut changed Ortiz's approach to Lopez. Instead of him actually boxing, hitting and not get hit, he started to do a little bit too much movement in the second half of the fight and not throwing enough punches. This allowed TEOFIMO Lopez to regain positioning and get back into the fight. And then I had Tszyu picking up a couple of rounds. Going into the 12th round, I had JAMAINE Ortiz up. I had him winning 6 rounds to 4 going into the 12th. No. 6-5 going into the 12th. And this round was very important. Now, you could have, based on what you like, it could have went either way. I thought, you know, Tszyu could have squeaked out that last round, which means the fight would have been a draw, which means that depending on who you gave those swing rounds to, it could have went either way. Me personally, if I had to score the fight, I would have scored it a draw. That's what I had it after the 12th round. I would have called it a draw. But I can see why the judges would give it to Teofimo Lopez, because on the back end of the fight, Ortiz wasn't throwing enough punches for me. He wasn't giving enough offense. He was too worried about that cut. He was too worried about, getting hit in that cut too much and it causing a problem for him being able to see or being able to, to fight like how he normally fight. You dig what I'm saying? So it was a really good fight. I mean, it was a chess match. It wasn't no action-packed fight. It was a chess match. It was a chess match. But I don't think this was a robbery at all. You know what I'm saying? I think it really could have went either way, and I'm not mad that the champion kept his belt. I'm not mad at that. I'm just being 100% honest with y'all. I know a lot of people calling this shit a robbery. Shout out to the brother Molly Mall in the building. What's good? Said the folks that call Loma Haney a robbery ain't gonna say shit about this. Hey, because they got their biases, bro. They got their biases. You saw a competitive fight with Haney and Loma where, if you're going round by round, Haney put up the better work. But they called that a robbery because it's about who you like. You dig what I'm saying? Now this fight, people saying that the same people that called Haney and Loma a robbery, they not necessarily calling this one a robbery. Again, it's biases and who you like. Now there's people who didn't call the Haney and Loma fight a robbery, but they calling this fight a robbery. I don't think either fight was a robbery. D-Lucky said it was a good fight, but you can't fight the champion and fight to survive. Facts. Said you have to take the belt. Ortiz never walked forward. You got to take the belts. What D-Lucky just said is exactly my sentiments. If the judges would have somehow saw this fight for Ortiz, I would not be tripping at all, because I thought in the first half of the fight, he did the better work. He was boxing. He wasn't allowing Lopez to land nothing significant. But after that cut, it changed Ortiz's whole attitude, bro. He started like really moving and really putting his hands in his pocket, or just playing straight defense, not really letting his hands go. It's unfortunate that the cut was from a head, but it happened. He allowed that to change the way he fought. Shout out to the brother KP from KC. Said, T.O. sorry ass killed my parlay. What you pick? You picked a knockout? I hit on prize picks on this fight for the punches landed. You know what I'm saying? I took the under on T.O. and then I took the under on Pedraza. You know what I'm saying? I hit on both of those. Shout out to the brother Mossy in the building. What's good? Said people want to see a brawl. That's not boxing. And if T.O. would have did what JAMAINE did, he still would have won. That's a fact. I agree with that, Mossy. I agree with that. As the champion, as the A side and the bigger name, if T.O. would have put on that exact same performance versus Ortiz, they would have called it a masterclass. They would have called it a masterclass. I wouldn't have agreed with that. If you would have said that T.O. would have won with that performance, I wouldn't trip. Just like I wouldn't trip if you gave this fight to Ortiz. But in no way, shape, or form was that a robbery. It was a competitive fight. It was a fight where one fighter had more success in the first half, and then another fighter had more success in the second half. That's exactly what it was. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it was, bro. But that's the main event. We gonna talk about Abdullah Mason. We gonna talk about Keyshawn Johnson. Thinking about fucking football this Super Bowl weekend. Keyshawn Davis. Let's talk about the aftermath. Teofimo Lopez, Keyshawn Davis. We know that they had their little, issues before the fight. They had a conversation at the press conference. We know Keyshawn fight at 135. We know T.O. is now at 140, but it seemed like they got real smoke now. So this fight seems like something that can materialize. Bob Arum even said that he's welcome to the idea of putting Keyshawn in there with Lopez. He said that both fighters are serious about that fight. He said the same thing about Lopez and Terrence Crawford. You dig what I'm saying? But the more realistic matchup here would be Keyshawn versus Lopez. I don't think they're going to put Lopez in there, though. I don't think they're going to put Keyshawn in there right now as they're building him up. You feel me? Let him keep doing what he's doing at 135, and then, you know, we'll see what it looked like in the next few fights. But I thought that was interesting with him being on the undercard, being a co-main, going out there and performing like he did versus Pedraza. Put on a very good performance, was sharp, you know, patient, accurate. The first round looked a little tricky, but Keyshawn started to push through, ended up getting Pedraza up out of there, called out Teofimo Lopez after having that conversation that was caught on audio at the press conference. And then after the fact, after Teofimo Lopez won his fight versus Ortiz, he held up the belt to a ringside Keyshawn Davis and said he had his choice words for sure. But then he also said, hey, you know what I'm saying? These guys, they don't want to fight me. They scared of the power. They don't want to stand and fight with me. And Keyshawn Davis was like, I ain't worried about none of that shit you talking about. I'll take that belt. You feel me? I like that energy. I like that energy. You know, I don't know how realistic that fight is in the future, but I really like the attitude Keyshawn is showing towards taking on the top competition. I like the fact that Teofimo Lopez is entertaining it, even though this guy is a prospect and one weight division below him. It's just good for the sport of boxing. But what did y'all think about Keyshawn Davis's performance? D. Lucky said, I think Keyshawn is ready. I think he could be too, bro. I think he could be too. He reminds me a lot, just temperament-wise, in the ring. Remind me a lot of Terrence Crawford. He ain't no damn Terrence Crawford. Let's just get that understood. He not Terrence Crawford. But his temperament, and you can see similarities in the way that they let their punches off. The punch selection, I would say, and the way they let their punches off. You know what I'm saying? The way Keyshawn follow through with his hooks. You know what I'm saying? Reminds me a lot of Terrence Crawford. The patience, him being calculated, it reminded me a lot of Terrence Crawford, man. You could tell Keyshawn Davis really a student of the game. You dig what I'm saying? And I saw his interview with Cigar Talk, and he talked about how, you know, he don't shy away from taking away things from the greats and the fighters around him with a high pedigree, and just, you know, taking tools from them and incorporating that into his game. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the brother Hart of Broward County. Always said this, bro. You're right on. He studied the fuck out of Bud. Yeah, man. You could tell, bro. Like, when Keyshawn in the gym with Terrence Crawford, if Terrence in there sparring or, you know, working the bag or something, you could just tell, bro. Like, he just be paying attention. He be paying attention. Said, Tszyu don't throw enough punches for me. Oh, you talking about Tszyu? Tszyu don't throw enough punches. You know what? The issue with Tszyu is that if he's fighting a moving target, even if the guy isn't moving to survive, if he's fighting a moving target, a guy that's gonna give you angles and foot movement, and like how Kambosos did, you know, how Loma started to give him angles in the second half of that fight, or how JAMAINE ORTIZ did. He finds it very difficult to set up shots. So that's why you see his punch output go down. When Tszyu is fighting a more stationary fighter, where he could put his explosiveness, hand speed, and power on display, and he can just really get his shit off and pick his shots, his punch output go up a little bit more. And I don't know, hey, Prize Picks say they be throwing them licks out there. They had Teofimo Lopez, they had his punches landed projection line at 156 punches, I believe. I'm like, ain't no way in hell Teofimo landing no damn 156 punches. Number one, Ortiz is going to be defensive as fuck. And then number two, like D Lucky just said, Tszyu, he not throwing punches like that, especially not against you know, a technical defensive fighter like a Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? Prize Picks be throwing them licks out. Hey, anytime y'all see boxing on Prize Picks, man, get on that. Because I know y'all be saying the same shit I'm seeing. They doing punches landed. Come on now. If you go back and look at what Dev did versus Regis Prograis, that was, he broke records with that on the defensive side. But look how sharp he was on offense. Everything he wanted to throw, he was landing. And even Dev didn't land no 150 punches. Hey, easy lick. Easy lick. Shout out to Prize Picks, man. Hey, y'all need to hit me up. Prize Picks, hit me up, man. I need a logo on my channel. Turn me up, Prize Picks. You dig what I'm saying? But Abdullah Mason, incredibly gifted young fighter, man. Incredibly gifted young fighter. I really think this kid could be like one of them ones. I really think Abdullah Mason can be one of them ones. That knockout, I posted it on my short. If y'all haven't seen that overhand left, the lead overhand left with explosion. You dig what I'm saying? Like, it was shot out of a cannon. One shot, one hitter quitter. Dropped him, ended the fight. Abdullah Mason gonna be a problem, and it's a combination of things. It's the skill, it's the pedigree, the guys that he got around him, the team around him being a student of the game. It's the natural athletic ability, and then it's also the size. At 135 in his first division, this kid, 19 years old, haven't even reached his man strength yet, might even still grow a half inch or a full inch, but at 135, 19 years old, the man is 5'9", solid frame on him. The type of frame that's going to carry you to 140. That's going to carry you to 147. Potentially 154. We ain't going to get ahead of ourselves because we still got to see Lil Bruh get in there with the top guys at 135. But I'm really loving what I'm seeing from Abdullah Mason, man. This dude right here can really do it all. Southpaw, hand speed, technical, nice defense, good timing. You saw that on that knockout shot. High ring IQ. You could tell he got that heart in him. He got that dog in him. But we got to see that on display versus somebody who gonna, throw some shit back at you. What y'all think about Abdullah Mason versus Keyshawn Davis? I think that right there is gonna be the fight if we keep it in 100. Because if you look at body types, I think they both gonna be moving up weight divisions around like the same time frame. Because I don't see neither one of them staying at 35 for a long time. What y'all think about Abdullah Mason versus Keyshawn Davis? They both at 135. Now I know Top Rank ain't gonna be just jumping out their seat to throw two of their youngest potential stars in the ring together, especially early. Right now, I think Mason is what? Like 10-0, something like that. 10 or 11-0. Keyshawn is 10-0 now. They got the same record and shit. I said, no, I want to see Keyshawn versus De Los Santos. I like that too. I think Keyshawn versus Abdullah is more down the line. They might not see each other until 40. But maybe even 47. But I would like to see Keyshawn versus De Los Santos. That's a good one. Go ahead and step up. Shout out to the brother Mr. Moet in the building. What's good? Shout out to the brother Ravens Nation in the building. What's good? I would like to see a Keyshawn versus Edwin De Los Santos. That's a good one. That's the good one. See if he can go out there and do something that Shakur couldn't do. I like that. I like that matchup a lot. You know what I'm saying? But man, it was overall last night was good. A lot of talent on display. I was pleased with what I saw from Keyshawn. The main event, like I said, was competitive. I know a lot of people got a bad taste in their mouth because they feel like, man, that's one thing about boxing fans, bro. Motherfuckers be getting so invested in the outcome, like a particular outcome of a fight, or they might like this fighter more than this fighter. They rooting for this fighter, and they lose sight of logic. You dig what I'm saying? And they call close fights robberies. You know what I mean? You call a competitive, like if a fight is competitive and it's a close fight. Shout out to my brother Kano Loco Sports in the building. What's good? Like if you have a close competitive fight, and you know there's one fighter that performs well in the first half, and the other fighter, you know, performs better in the second half, you can't call it a robbery. Said the Tszyu versus Ortiz fight looks like the Tank versus Haney fight will be Tank being Tszyu and Haney being Ortiz, but with Haney winning. That's a interesting assessment, D Lucky. I could definitely see the fight going like that. However, I believe that Haney would be more offensive. I don't see Dev, even in the midst of fighting a dangerous power puncher like Tank Davis, I don't see Devin Haney like just trying to survive like Ortiz. But I see what you're saying stylistically though. You're gonna see Tank coming forward, trying to cut the ring off, and you go see Devin Haney boxing off the back foot. One thing we haven't seen, I think, I'll be honest with y'all, I think Tank might have the same issues that Tszyu got. We don't know. We never seen Tank fight nobody like JAMAINE Ortiz. We never seen Tank fight nobody like Devin Haney. We never seen Tank fight nobody like, if we keeping it 100, George Kambosos. Now, Tank could fuck around and beat all these dudes I'm naming. But we haven't seen him fight nobody that has, like, foot movement and shit. Like, we ain't seen Tank be in the ring where he had to be the one to come forward and cut the ring off over a consistent period of time. We saw him fight Leo Santa Cruz where he had the shorter reach, which is a common theme for Tank, being a smaller guy fighting these other guys. And there was a point in time where he had to cut distance with Leo, but he didn't have, like, it wasn't like Leo was boxing. Tank was actually the one with the shorter reach, boxing around and fighting off the back foot, even versus Leo, who had longer reach. But ultimately, Tank felt like, hey, just like he did with Barrios, he felt like he said, shit, hey, you know, me fighting off the back foot from distance like this, I ain't able to get my best shit off. Let me come forward and get in your shit. And that's what he did with Leo. That's what he did with Barrios. But he didn't have to cut the ring off to do that, though. All he did was come forward because neither one of these guys were like fleet of foot like that. Barrios had decent boxing ability, but he wasn't moving like JAMAINE Ortiz. He wasn't moving like a Devin Haney can move. You know what I'm saying? He don't have the lateral ability like a Devin Haney. You feel what I'm saying? So we really never seen Tank Davis have to cut the ring off and really have to, like, tactically, you know, corner a motherfucker and make them do what he want them to do. He's always fought guys that's gonna bring him everything that he want. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be an interesting fight. I like that, D Lucky. I can see Haney and Tank going exactly like, not exactly like Tszyu and Ortiz, but very similar. Very similar. Kano Loco said, I watched the fight 3 times now, Regime. I have to say I can call this one a robbery. Damn. Kano, man, I got, all right, look, let me say this. I don't think it was a robbery at all, but I'm going to go back and watch it again, too. I don't think it was a robbery, though, bruh. I felt like Ortiz really could have done a lot more in that second half. You know what this fight reminded me of? This fight reminded me of Canelo Alvarez versus Erislandy Lara. This fight reminded me a lot of Canelo versus Erislandy Lara. That fight, I thought Lara won. I thought Lara won that fight. Did I call that a robbery? No. Let me tell you why. Because Canelo was pressing the action the whole night. He was going to the body and landing enough, especially in the second half of the fight. He was the one that was actually making the fight. Lara was too defensive. He was defensive enough to not get hit, but too defensive to where it impacted his offense. You can't be too defensive to where your offense takes a hit. That's a problem. I'm all for defense. I'm all for hitting and not getting hit. But you can't be too defensive to the point where your offense suffers. That's a problem. Especially if you're fighting the champion and he's already got leeway on you. You dig what I'm saying? And your job is to go in there and take the belt from the champion. I thought Lara beat Canelo. But when the judges said that Canelo won, I wasn't mad because I was the whole time I'm screaming at the TV at Lara because I wanted Lara to win. I keep it 100. I was going for Lara. But I'm screaming at the TV. I'm like, let your hands go. Yeah, you playing good defense, but motherfucker, you got to fight too. Let your hands go. Because you know what the judge is going to start doing? Let's say you have one of those rounds where one fighter moved a whole lot. One fighter just moving and moving and moving. And then you got another fighter who is coming forward and throwing shots. Now, let's say most of those shots are being blocked. Let's say this guy's throwing big body shots, most of them being blocked, but the judges are ringside hearing the impact on the blocked and caught shots, on the elbows, the hips, the ribs, shit like that. The fighter who's moving ain't throwing nothing, but he's moving. He playing good defense. He not really getting hit flush, but he ain't throwing shit neither. The other guy is coming forward, throwing shots, most of them getting blocked, but he's the only one making the action. Who you gonna get that round to? Who you gonna get that round to? Fighter A who's doing the moving or fighter B who's making the action? I'm gonna give it to fighter B. Now, if you telling me that fighter A is moving and then also landing multiple crisp jabs, or, you know, even if fighter B is blocking and fighter A is moving and still hitting jabs, he hitting the guard, but a couple of them split through, jab to the body, move, instead of allowing fighter B to get close to him and throw those big shots to the body and you block him, you tie him up instead and stop his work, as opposed to letting him get that shit off. And then the judges see you in control now. I just can't give a guy a round. Like, that's why it was so hard to score. It was like super hard to score the Stevenson and De Los Santos fight. That fight was super hard to score, bro, because it's like neither one of these motherfuckers throwing no punches for real. So who I'm gonna get around to? Both of them is trying to like not get hit. Both of them prioritizing not getting hit more than they do attacking. So it's like, who the fuck I'm gonna get around to? Those type of fights are like super hard to score. Shout out to the brother Ryan, said, how did you score the fight? I scored the fight 6-6 a draw. I had Ortiz. It was either, I had it either 6-6 Ortiz, 6-6 a draw, or 7-5 Ortiz. That's what I had it, because going into the 12th, I had Ortiz up 6-5, and I thought the 12th round was a swing round, depending on what you like. So, but I'm not mad that they gave it to Tszyu though. You feel me? Because I can see why they would have gave some of those earlier swing rounds to Tszyu. I wasn't mad. You feel me? I don't think it was a robbery. Shout out to the brother Jay Grant Jr. in the building. What's good? Yeah, I mean, I just don't see it as a robbery. But like kind of Loco said, he watched the fight 3 times. So I'm gonna go back and watch it again, and you know, I could be off. I'm open to the idea that I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. You know what I'm saying? But it was a chess match. It wasn't the fight that a lot of people expected. If you pay attention to both fighters, you would have expected something similar to this. But I thought it was a fun fight to watch, man. A chess match, you know. I really hate that Ortiz got that cut because that changed the fight. The cut changed the fight. It changed Ortiz's whole attitude about the fight. Before he got that cut, he was boxing very well. After the cut, he was just trying to survive. He was just trying to survive. But let's talk about Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. Now, apparently, they have struck a deal for April 20th, 420. Las Vegas. I don't really put a lot of like faith and stock into anything that involves Ryan Garcia. If Ryan Garcia tell me he about to do something, you know what I mean? Like, I don't put too much stock in that. I was telling my homeboy, I'm like, you know what, man, that's a fight. You know, I fuck around and go to that fight, man. Pull up to Vegas, man. That'll be a nice little fight just to pull up to vibe, you know. Watch Devin Haney put hands on Ryan Garcia. Bink, bink, bink. You know what I mean? Enjoy the festivities and shit. But I told my boy, I'm like, man, I don't think I'm going to book nothing until like March, like mid-March or some shit. You feel me? Because you ain't no telling what Ryan going to do. He fuck around and pull out the fight. Now I got to pay for the hotel. You know what I'm saying? I got to try to get a refund on my tickets. I got flights. You feel what I'm saying? So I ain't booking shit till like mid-March. You feel me? Until they done did at least 2 press conferences or something. Hey, Jay Grant said, yeah, I'm scared to buy a ticket, Brian. I'm not buying no tickets, bro. I ain't buying no ticket, none of that, bro. None of that. D Lucky said, I don't care for that fight. Hey, look, D Lucky. That ain't even the fight that I'm looking at the Haney and Garcia fight like a spectacle. The same way I looked at it with Tank Davis. The same thing. That fight ain't no big fight. That's not no highly anticipated fight for me. You know, that's a showcase fight for Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia is a showcase fight for Devin Haney. It's a showcase fight. You know what I find interesting, D Lucky, though? You got a lot of naysayers out there who try to shit on Devin Haney because they say, well, he fighting Tank Davis leftovers. You feel what I'm saying? They say he fighting Tank Davis leftovers. If Ryan Garcia trashed, then why Devin Haney trying to fight him? Well, you seen what Devin Haney already did. He done already been undisputed. He done already defended the undisputed crown in multiple fights. Once after winning versus Kambosos, turned around in a rematch, defended. Then you fought the oh-so big bad Lomachenko. You defended it against him. Then you move up to 140 in your first fight. You fight top 2 guy in that division, another world champion in Regis Prograis, and you dismantle him, beat him worse than he ever been beat in his life. At this point, like Devin Haney said at the post-fight press conference after he beat Regis, he said, man, I did everything I said I was going to do. Now I think I deserve to go get the big bags. I deserve to go get the big fights. He said at this point, I'm trying to fight anybody who got a name. Anybody who got that bag. What's good? Remember what Devin Haney said when he did that ESPN interview with Max Kellerman like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know if y'all remember. But Devin Haney said, when it comes to this crop of fighters out right now, my generation, he said, I'm pretty boy Floyd Mayweather. Now, when he said that, he said, I'm not talking about in terms of skill. I'm not saying I'm better than pretty boy Floyd. I'm not saying I'm him. What he's saying is he's pretty boy from the perspective of, hey, I'm going out here and I'm fighting the Diego Corrales. I'm going out here and I'm fighting the Angel Manfredis and the Arturo Gottis and the Gennaro Hernandezes. You dig what I'm saying? I'm fighting the Chop Corleys and the Emmanuel Augustus. I'm fighting the guys that y'all saying is the top guys. I'm calling out the Shane Mosleys who didn't want to fight me when we was in the same division. You feel me? I'm calling out the Oscar De La Hoyas. I want to fight them. Pretty boy Floyd was chasing down all the top competition. They didn't want no smoke. And the ones that did want smoke, he whooped their ass. You feel me? That's what Devin said. I'm that, as opposed to his peers like the Tank Davises or like these other guys. They want to be Money Mayweather. They don't want to put in the work and go and build from the ground up and build that foundation first. Remember, Floyd went after the smoke first and then became money. That's what Devin Haney meant when he said, I'm Pretty Boy Floyd. I'm willing to go and do the dirty work. Shout out to my brother Eclectic Agitator in the building. What's good? Said, I'm willing to go put in the dirty work. I'm willing to grind and go for the legacy first. Now that I'm in this position, I want the big fights. And that's why I'm not tripping on Devin Haney going after Ryan Garcia. Because he done already, you became undisputed. You've been chasing Tank for years. He don't want to fight. You've offered Shakur Stevenson a deal. He turned that down. You chased Teofimo Lopez for years. He don't want to fight. You've chased Lomachenko for years. Finally got him in the ring and whooped him. It's like, shit. You chased Ryan Garcia for years. He didn't want to fight. Now hopefully you get him in the ring, whoop his ass, make him pay for making you wait. Plus y'all got history in the amateurs. It's an easy fight to sell. You got the classic stylistic matchup, the Bull versus the Matador. I mean, can we really call Ryan Garcia a bull, though? Can we really call him a bull? I don't really know what to call Ryan Garcia right now. He's so unorthodox, awkward, and flimsy and shit. He got this customized shoulder roll that, is just an accident waiting to happen. You know what I'm saying? But this is a showcase fight for Devin Haney. It's a showcase fight. And see, that's the difference between me and a lot of these guys. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it all the way genuine. You feel me? Right, wrong, and indifferent. I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. If I told you that Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis was a spectacle or an exhibition fight or a showcase fight for Tank or a money fight for Tank, that's exactly what it was, because we all knew that Ryan Garcia had no business being in the ring with Tank. He had no business being in the ring with Tank. I told motherfuckers that Ryan Garcia wasn't shit a long time ago. I was one of the few people asking questions. Why are y'all putting Ryan Garcia in this 4 kings category? He not no fucking king. He not no 4 king. He not. The 4 kings should have been Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, and goddamn, it should have been Loma in there, or Tank Davis. It should have been Tank Davis, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez. That's the 4 kings for them young dudes at that division at the time. It shouldn't have been no damn Ryan Garcia. I've been telling y'all Ryan Garcia wasn't shit. So when Tank fought him, he wasn't shit. And when Devin finna fight him, I'ma still tell you he ain't shit. So I'm just keeping it all the way 100 with y'all. I've been saying the same shit. So don't try to pull that shit over here talking about, when Tank fought Ryan, y'all said that, Ryan, that was an exhibition. I'm saying the same shit with Devin Haney. It ain't nothing but a showcase fight that Dev gonna get paid. And like D Lucky just said, I think Dev can stop Ryan. I think Dev can stop Ryan. I think Dev can stop Ryan, man. I'm telling y'all, bro. Ryan Garcia, that last fight that he just had at 140, he didn't look good at all, bro. He didn't look good at all. You know what I'm saying? I think Ryan Garcia gonna come out there blazing, throwing big shots, big wild ass shots, and just gonna get picked off. The first few rounds, I'm gonna say the first 3 rounds, Ryan gonna be very dangerous. The first 3 rounds, he gonna be dangerous. But he gonna get picked off. Shout out to the brother Terrence Gayton in the building. Yeah, that 117, 111 was terrible. See, that's the thing. Let me say this. With going back to Ortiz and Lopez real quick. I don't really get too caught. The scorecard, that was bad. I didn't agree with that. But I don't really get super caught up in the scorecards if ultimately you can say the right man won or the outcome of the fight was reasonable. Like I said, there was a lot of swing rounds early on. You could have gave some of those rounds to either guy. I thought Ortiz had the better first half. Lopez had the better second half. I didn't see a robbery. Close fight, could have went either way. I had it a draw, or 7-5 for Ortiz. But that 117 to 111 scorecard for Lopez, terrible. Terrible. Shout out to the brother Mike Rhyme in the building. What's good? What's good? You know what I'm saying? Good morning, brother. But yeah, bro. Shout out to the brother Mastermind 3 in the building. What's good? Said, could we all agree that Shakur won against De Los Santos, but Ortiz did more than Shakur, but he still lost? That's a great question. I agree. Ortiz did do more than Shakur and lost. But let me tell you this. Teofimo Lopez did more than De Los Santos did. And on top of that, Teofimo Lopez was a champion. Shakur and De Los Santos was fighting for a vacant belt. Not only is Teofimo Lopez the champion, he's the lineal champion. He's the number one fighter in the division. He's the ring lineal champion, the number one fighter in the division. And if you have a close fight like that, and you fight just to survive on the back end of the fight, you're not gonna get the decision. You're just not. You're not gonna beat a lineal champion surviving on the last 6 rounds of the fight. You're not. Hey, Mastermind 3, you're correct. Ortiz was picking Lopez apart in the first half of the fight. But after that headbutt and that cut, that changed the whole fight. Go back and watch. Watch when he got the cut, his whole attitude changed, bro. He started just trying to survive. He stopped throwing his jab like he was. He stopped coming behind the jab with the straight left. He stopped setting traps as constant as he was before. The first half of the fight for Ortiz was like 60% movement, 40% boxing and throwing punches. You feel me? The second half of the fight was like 90% movement, let me stay out the way, and 10% boxing and throwing punches. That was the problem. After he got that cut, I think he was worried about that cut getting worse and him getting fucked up. That's what I think he was worried about. And I felt like Lopez kind of stung Ortiz a couple of times in the second half of the fight. You know what I'm saying? But I agree. Ortiz definitely put on a better performance than Shakur did, who got a victory versus De Los Santos. The only difference is De Los Santos wasn't doing the shit that Lopez was doing. He wasn't coming forward and throwing big shots and really trying to make the fight and backing out and showing people that this dude is moving too much. You know what I'm saying? That's what De Los Santos should have did. He should have stepped back a few times and showed them like, hey, bro, this motherfucker moving. Like, he ain't trying to fight me. Lopez was smart. See, that's the maturity in Lopez. That's the maturity in Lopez. He understood, like, hold on. Let me control the judges and let me control this crowd too. Let me step back a few times. He did that multiple times. Instead of him aimlessly walking forward and missing with his inability to cut the ring off, he said, hold on. Let me step back and make this motherfucker come over here. You know what I mean? Let me show y'all this motherfucker not trying to fight. I thought that was very smart. That was a crafty move. You know what I'm saying? Said, what did you think about the punch stats and the connection percentages? I saw that Lopez landed 78, Ortiz landed 80. The thing is though, I felt like the more thudding shots, even though neither guy really landed nothing like super crazy, I felt like the more impactful shots were landed by Lopez. I do. I felt like the most impactful shots to the body were landed by Lopez. You know. But again, I scored the fight a draw or 7-5 for Ortiz. You feel me? But if somebody would have said the same way, going back to the Canelo and Lara fight, I scored that fight for Lara off of the movement and boxing ability. But if you told me that you had Canelo winning just like the judges did, I wasn't mad neither, because I felt like Lara played too much defense. You know what I'm saying? Played too much defense. Way too much defense. You got to have a balance. That's one of the things that I really liked from Shakur Stevenson. But he's shown me that even he, when he get in the ring with a legitimate power puncher, shit be looking different. Shakur Stevenson versus Nakatila. He wasn't the same Shakur Stevenson that we saw versus Jamel Herring. That wasn't the same Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson versus De Los Santos. That wasn't the same Shakur Stevenson that we saw versus Yoshino. It's different. When you in there with a legitimate power puncher, some guys can maintain that balance, like a Terrence Crawford, like a Canelo Alvarez, even like a Devin Haney. Because with Devin Haney fighting Jorge Linares, he got hurt late on in the fight, but he didn't allow that to stop him from working. He was beating the shit out of Linares the whole fight. He didn't give him that much respect. That's why he got hurt. He got too reckless. He didn't give him that much respect to where you would think that this dude is running. You know, you got to have a balance, bro. Just because you fighting a power puncher, you can't get in there. Go back to when Floyd fought Canelo. When Floyd fought Canelo, he stood right there in front of him, made him miss and made him pay in the pocket. You cannot, just because you fighting a power puncher, bro, you can't change your whole shit. You can't just, oh no, he got power. I ain't trying to get touched by none of that. Let me move all night. No, you still have to show the judges that you're here to win. Especially if you're the challenger. You got to show the judges that you're here to win. Anybody that's fighting up, any boxer that's fighting a legitimate power puncher should all watch the film of Floyd versus Canelo. Now, I know these motherfuckers ain't Floyd. That's a fact. But if you want to learn how to undress and dismantle a power puncher without running, watch Floyd versus Canelo. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Even then, they one of the judges had it, what? Did one of the judges have Canelo win it, or one of the judges had it a draw? That was ridiculous. But, you know, even then, you could have issues. So, but that's your best bet. If you fighting a guy that got power, don't run. You got to have a balance to be able to give offense and defense. Shout out to my brother Eric R in the building. What's good? Says salute. When you're fighting for a title, you have to make it clear that you won. You never want the fight. You never want to keep the fight close. Fact. Shout out to the brother Captain in the building. What's good? Said Ortiz should have thrown the jab with a little more conviction in the second half. Facts. Facts. And look, this the crazy part. If you banked in all those rounds in the first half, which I believe Ortiz did, even with the cut, that should give you even more confidence to stand your ground in the second half. Like, now you have a little bit more margin for error. Now, you know what I mean? You can kind of make some adjustments, change speed, switch the pace up a little bit. Now you've been giving them back foot movement the whole first half. Now let me fuck you up a little bit and stand my ground and do some shit you're not expecting. You feel me? Let me wrestle with you on the inside a little bit. You know what Ortiz could have did? He could have banked in them first half rounds, and then he could have took the 7th, 8th, 9th. He could have took them 3 rounds just to wrestle a little bit. Lopez is not no incredibly gifted inside fighter. Wrestle with him a little bit, tussle with him. That way, neither one of y'all really working for real. But shit, you on the inside landing little sneaky shots, you know what I'm saying? Little rabbit punches and shit, making it rough. And then on the last 2 or 3 rounds, you get back on your bicycle and you box. You got to be smart with this shit and switch it up. You got to make it convincing, especially when you the challenger. You got to make that shit convincing. You can't just go out there just trying to survive, bro. You got to be tactical with this shit. Anybody that's a boxer fighting a power puncher, y'all, they need to watch Floyd versus Canelo. That need to be mandatory. That way you don't get in there like a Shakur Stevenson versus De Los Santos and be all, wide-eyed and super, like, scared to get hit and shit. You feel me? Said Ortiz was playing with the house money. Gotta go for the gusto. Facts. He was playing with the house money. You feel what I'm saying? It's like shit. You just hit for 2 racks on Prize Picks, put half in the bank, and then you take that other rack and put that, you go big. That's house money. He did the exact opposite. He won the big bag, and then played it super safe. And you lost. You can't do that. You can't do that. When you up, that's the time to be even more aggressive. When you up, that's when you be even more aggressive. You don't play not to lose, you play to win. Y'all ever seen, let me give you an example. We gonna do it cross sports. The Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl weekend right now, right? We had, remember the Patriots versus the Falcons in the Super Bowl? The Falcons was up big. Falcons up big. Got the GOAT Tom Brady down bad. But what happened? They started playing not to lose. They started getting super conservative because they up big. What happened? Tom Brady came back and taxed that ass. When you up, that's when you be aggressive. That's what happened to Jamaine Ortiz. He didn't want it bad enough. He didn't want it bad enough. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want it bad enough. I'm excited about March 30th too. Who y'all got in that Keith Thurman and Tszyu fight? Mike Rom said something like what Keith Thurman does in the second half. Facts. Facts. That's facts. That's facts. Keith Thurman do that a lot. Keith Thurman will go out guns blazing in the first half, and then the second half of the fight, if he can't get you out of there or hurt you badly enough, he's just going to be trying to survive. Shout out to my brother A Sing in the building, said from ATL, you ain't have to remind me, contender. My bad, brother. My bad, brother. But I ain't telling no lies, though. I ain't telling no lies, man. When you up, you can't play to not lose. When you up, that's your chance, because now you got a little extra leeway. That's your chance to be even more aggressive. Let me go get him. He think I'm finna fall back and play safe right now. Now let me step on the gas. Shout out to the brother Eric R. He said, you got to read the room as well. You fighting a top-ranked fighter. Bob don't do rematches. You already know one of those cards was filled out. Hey, that 117 and 111 card was filled out at the weigh-in for sure. Hey, that 117, 111 card, that bitch was already, they put that bitch in. Hey, look. Hey, look. Hey, the judges, he slid this to his boy. He like, hey, look at this. Hey, this is what I got for the fight. The fight tomorrow and shit. He like, look, this is what I got for the fight. He didn't already fill his shit out. He got his slip filled out already. I agree. I think that's what really be going on, Eric. I'm like, hey, bro. But for real though, you gotta know what you gotta read the room. You gotta know what type of situation you in. You gotta know what's going on. You feel me? Going back to Devin Haney. Look at how. Hold on, bro. See, motherfuckers don't really be respecting like real pedigree for real. People be respecting too much bullshit, but they don't respect real pedigree. Go back and watch the 12th round of Devin Haney and Lomachenko. We talking about Devin Haney, the undisputed champion. This is his second defense of that undisputed title. And you fighting Lomachenko. Devin read the room. Let's talk about this. Before that Loma fight, when we all knew that was going to be the last fight on Devin Haney contract, what he say when they asked him about his next endeavors and how he felt about ESPN and Top Rank? He said, "Oh, I fuck with Top Rank. I have a good relationship with Bob, and you know what? I'm open for doing business with them again." You feel what I'm saying? I'm open for doing business with them again. He said that going into the fight. What Bob thinking? You know what? Hey, man, look, we gonna make sure bro good. No, hey, look, hey, if shit go down, we gonna make sure bro good. That's the first move that Devin Haney made. And then you take it to the actual fight. What happened in the 12th round? Loma ain't have shit in the 12th round. Devin Haney, the champion, pressed the gas, gave it his all. After getting, pieced up in the 9th, had a not so good 10th and 11th. The 12th round, Devin Haney turned it up. He said, look, let me come forward. Let me throw my jab. Let me go to the body like I was doing in the first 6 rounds. Let me solidify this victory. Let me show them that I wanted more. That's pedigree. A lot of these guys don't have that shit. Bro. They don't have the wherewithal to be able to understand situationally like what's going on and what I need to do to get the outcome that I want. A lot of these dudes don't got that type of pedigree. That's why I respect that shit when I see it, bro. I respect that shit when I see it. Hey, eclectic agitator said it's all fixed policy. The brother Eric said Tim gonna stop Thurman. I think so too. I think Tszyu. Look, that's gonna be a good ass fight. I'm gonna say this. It's gonna be an interesting fight. But I think Tim gonna get to Keith Thurman. He gonna get to him, and it might get ugly for Keith. I think the co-main event is gonna really take the cake though. Rolly Romero versus Isaac Cruz. That fight not going the distance. I think we finna see Rolly Romero get his ass knocked the fuck out again. D Lucky said Thurman gonna win. Hey, it's a couple of people saying Thurman gonna win, bro. Hey, D Lucky, I respect your boxing mind, bro. You know what I'm saying? You've been one of the main ones that heard this whole time telling me that Terrence Crawford was gonna do Earl Spence bad, and you wasn't lying. So, brother, tell me, what make you think Thurman gonna beat Tszyu? Like, what is it that you see? That's gonna be an interesting fight. Because on paper, you look at Thurman and you say, well, he's been in more championship fights. He's fought better competition. Skillfully, he's better on paper. He got a hand speed advantage. On paper, he's just as powerful when it comes to power punching. Right? On paper. But then you actually go look at the film. And then you look at the last couple of fights. Then you look at the layoffs that Keith Thurman been on. Then you look at the fact that he's moving up a division that he never fought in before. Then you look at the fact that Tszyu is young and hungry, and Keith Thurman is older and inactive. Feel what I'm saying? These things don't show up on paper. On paper, it looked like Keith Thurman can not only be competitive in this fight, but win. On paper. But if you look beyond the paper, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And I don't like inactivity. I didn't like it for Earl Spence. I never liked it for Jamal Charlo. I don't like inactivity. That's why even after all these years of Canelo masterfully cherry picking and maneuvering and just doing all of this fuck shit, you know why I still had to respect Canelo? Because he was always fighting. While these other dudes bickering and arguing about splits and purses and who gonna walk out first, who the A side, who the B side, worried about, can I get this fight with this fighter, or can I get this fight with that fighter? While all these dudes walking around scratching their balls and shit, Canelo was fighting 3-4 times a year. Activity. I don't like inactivity, bro. For a boxer, I don't like that shit. I don't like that inactivity shit. I don't like that shit, man. I think it really stifles like the full potential of a fighter. You know what I'm saying? That inactivity, bro, it's a fool. Brother D. Lucky said Thurman has the experience. Said it's like riding a bike. If Thurman survives, he wins. He will outbox him. He's never been stopped. He won't in this fight. Ooh, that's a good point. That's a good ass point. Because if the fight does go to distance, if Thurman don't get dropped, and the fight goes 12, I like Thurman. If Thurman stays on his feet the whole fight and it goes 12, that tells me that Tszyu didn't have the night that he thought he was going to have. Or that he wanted to have, that he needed to have. If the fight go 12 and Keith stay on his feet, I like Thurman. That's the only scenario where I see Thurman winning. But I actually think that at some point, Thurman gonna get touched. I think he gonna get hurt. I think he takes a knee. Now, does he box well enough to secure enough of those rounds to be able to win despite the knockdown? That, we got to see. It says before his last fight, Hopkins never been stopped either. Facts. That's a fact. Yeah. Shit. Earl Spence never been stopped before he got in there with Bud. You know what I mean? So, hey, man. It's going to be interesting, though. It's going to be interesting. You know what I'm saying? The thing for me is that I don't know what Keith Thurman's aim is. He one of the top salesmen in the sport, so he going to sell you a dream. He going to talk himself up. He going to talk up the fight. He going to talk about, he going to give you the WWE Macho Man Randy Savage spiel. But I don't know if Keith Thurman is back for real. Like, is he here to compete? Or is this just a money grab? Reason I asked that question is because fighting Tszyu, can we really categorize that as a money grab? I mean, he's gonna get paid. I think Keith get what? Guaranteed what, 3? 3 to 4 million for this fight? What y'all think? Keith get, we ain't pocket watching or nothing. But what I'm trying to do is understand where Keith's mind is right now. Is he really back for real? Like, is he really trying to? Because I'm thinking if he really wanted a money grab, there's bigger paydays out there. Feel what I'm saying? There's bigger paydays than Tszyu. So that leads me to believe that it's something that he see in Tszyu that he can whoop his ass. That maybe he back for real. Maybe he's really here to compete now. Or is it just another money grab and he gonna get this, fight this fight, get paid, and then we won't see him for another 2 or 3 years? Feel what I'm saying? I think somebody got to interview Keith and ask him that question. Somebody got to interview Keith and ask him that. He gonna talk around it. Shout out to my brothers, No Excuses, This Levels Boxing in the building. What's good? They say 1.5 million. Okay. So you fighting Tszyu for 1.5 million. Big risk. For the 1.5 now. I ain't never seen 1.5 in my life, so shit, I do it. It'll be a money grab for me. But for somebody like Keith Thurman, who has regularly seen these type of paydays, this don't seem like a money grab to me. This don't seem like no money grab. Which again leads me to believe that Keith really believes he can win. And that he's really here to compete. Isn't this fight going to be at a catch weight? What's the catch weight, y'all? What they doing? 152? What's the catch weight? I should have loaded up my damn computer. What's the catch weight? Shout out to my brother Inside the Square Circle with King Judah. What's good, brother? Is my mouse disconnected? Said that's just one of those fights where Keith got to make me a believer. Said because I have zero faith in a guy who fought probably 2 times in the last 5 years. I'm right there with you, brother. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. I gotta see it to believe it. Because I wasn't super impressed with his performance against Barrios. It wasn't a bad performance, but I wasn't super impressed. That performance wasn't as good as Errol Spence versus Mikey. The reason I bring those two up is because they both fought guys moving up a weight class, and neither one of them stopped the dude. So they both put on boxing performances, and Earl was a 12-round sweep. I don't think Keith Thurman put on a 12-round sweep versus Barrios. In fact, he got hurt in that fight. Shout out to my brother Big Tex 33 in the building. What's good? So I wasn't super impressed with Keith versus Barrios. And then before that was the Manny Pacquiao loss, right? He got to show me. Said Keith definitely believes he can win. He said a while back that Tim is straight up and down. And you know what? I actually agree with the fact that Tszyu is, I'm not impressed with Tszyu neither. Tszyu can fight, and he got power. I still don't think Tszyu beats Jermell Charlo or Terrence Crawford. Catch 155. That's even better for Tszyu. So they fighting at 55? 1 pound above the 154-pound limit? That's interesting. That's interesting. 155 in favor of Tszyu? Interesting. Interesting. I'll tell you one thing, man. I can't wait for them to put them projections up on Prize Picks. I'm going crazy on March 30th. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't missed on the boxing pick yet. On punches landed, I ain't missed yet. 155? Damn. I don't like that for Keith. I will say this, though. I like that it's not below the super welterweight pound limit. The super welterweight limit. I like that it's not below that. Because what that let me know is that Keith is like a full-fledged 154-pounder now. He ain't going back down. He really fighting at 54 now. I thought it was going to be like 152 or 153 or something like that. Because that would have made me think like, Keith, he just moonlighting right now. He not really serious about moving up. He just finna go fight Tszyu and then go back down to 47. But 155, that let me know that shit, Keith, he done with 47. He's serious about 154 now. So I do like that. But for this fight, though, I don't like that for Keith. Because, shit, Tszyu, he going to be super strong. He going to be super strong. Said Tim versus Danny Garcia would be interesting. But damn, how long has it been for Danny? Another inactive fighter. Another inactive fighter. Tszyu versus Danny would be fun to watch because, you know, Danny gonna let go of them big old left hooks and rights. You know, he gonna let his hands, he gonna throw some big shots. He might not have a high punch output, but Danny gonna let some heavy shit go. And we know Tim gonna let his hands go. So that'll be interesting. And I ain't never really seen Danny Garcia just hurt. I ain't never seen him, you know, in jeopardy of being stopped for real. Like, I never seen Danny really in trouble. The most trouble I ever seen Danny Garcia in was when he fought Lamont Peterson. I feel like nobody beat Danny better than Earl did, but Earl just, like, outclassed him for real. Lamont Peterson actually had Danny Garcia in trouble. Like, the last 2 rounds, he was in trouble. He was in trouble. You know, but I never seen Danny just, like, hurt badly. So, I don't really see Tszyu stopping him. That'd be interesting. D. Lucky said, what's next for Terrence Crawford? That's a great question. I don't know what's going on with Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford as far as the rematch. From what it's looking like, it don't seem like it's going to happen. I guess Earl need more time to heal after the surgery. Maybe they want to go in a different direction. I don't know. But with that being said, I know a lot of people think differently. I personally want to see Terrence Crawford versus Canelo. I want to see that because I think Terrence Crawford can win that fight. But if that fight does happen, it's going to be in September. I don't want to see Terrence Crawford going to a Canelo fight off no layoff. He need to have a fight. With that being said, I think Terrence, does he take a fight at 54? You know what I'm saying? Do you even take a fight at 54? Or if you're serious about fighting Canelo, you go to 68, get you a little tone up. Just get you a little tone up. Go to 68, get you a little tone up, fight you one of these guys that ain't ranked nowhere near the top 10. Because you just want to fight a big body. Go to 68, Grab one of these dudes who ain't lost yet, but they nowhere near the top 10. See how you feel at that weight. See how you take they punches. See how they react to your punches. Shout out to the brother Ernie V in the building. Whoop they ass. And then in September, you fight Canelo. That would be the logical move for Terrence Crawford, for me. Shout out to the brother A Singh in the building. He said, or fight Jerron Boots Ennis. I love that too. The only thing with that, though, if we being realistic, where is that fight going to take place? If Terrence Crawford were to fight Boots right now, where does that fight take place? 47? I don't think so. Because there's no reason for Terrence Crawford to fight Jerron Boots Ennis at 47 no more. Number one, the titles don't mean nothing. The titles at 47 to Crawford don't mean shit no more. He already became undisputed. They already stripped him. There's literally no reason for Terrence Crawford to fight anybody at 147. He don't have to. 54? Is Boots going to come up to 54? Is Boots going to go to 54? If I'm Terrence Crawford, I'm not about to, I'm going to be honest. I want to see Terrence Crawford versus Boots. I think that fight would be incredible, action-packed. It could possibly be the best fight that you can pair, right? Just if you take away resume and take away experience, just look at skills. That might be the best fight that you can pair together. Boots Ennis and Terrence Crawford. But if we being realistic, it's like, if I'm Terrence Crawford, I'm not finna bend backwards to fight Boots Ennis. I'm not finna acquiesce to nothing that he won't. If he want to fight at 40, I'm not fighting at 47. Because he literally, like, Boots don't have nothing to offer to Terrence Crawford outside of the pride of whooping a young lion's ass. That's the only thing that Boots got to offer to Terrence Crawford. An ego boost. The pride and an ego boost of whooping a young lion's ass. That's it. That's all he got. That's the only thing that Boots Ennis offers to Crawford. Because if Crawford fight Boots and he win, they gonna say, hey, you whooped an inexperienced, very talented, but inexperienced young lion. You whooped him. Kudos. You whooped him. If you lose to Jerron Boots Ennis, he just took 30 steps forward the way he beat Earl Spence. Now you about to take 15 steps back because you just lost to who really, I mean, he a contender. He's a champion now, but you just lost to a guy who, you know, got his belt without fighting nobody for it. That don't look good. You his first real challenge and he whoop your ass. So for Terrence Crawford, it's like that fight really don't make no sense. If Terrence Crawford fight Jerron Boots Ennis right now, bro, I don't think nobody really can question like what type of like mindset Bud got for real. Like, I don't think nobody can question if this dude really feel like he the best, or if he really think like none of these dudes can fuck with him for real. Because that wouldn't be nothing but an ego and pride boost. That's all that's gonna be if Terrence Crawford fight Boots. That's it. He don't get nothing. He not finna get paid. He not finna get no title that he ain't already won. He not finna get no props for real for whooping Boots. You know what I'm saying? It's like he ain't gonna get nothing. I want to see the fight. I'm just giving y'all, I'm being realistic with y'all. So I think Terrence Crawford, somebody just said he should fight Munguia. Shit, I wouldn't mind that. Now, that's a big ass risk. If I'm Terrence Crawford, if I go to 168 for my first fight, if you trying to make a statement, yeah, go fight Munguia. You go whoop his ass. If you really trying to make a statement, you go fight David Benavidez. But no, that don't make sense neither. Because you need to see if you even feel good at 168. You need to see if you can even hurt people up there. You need to see if you can take shots and if you can hurt people. Because I'm going to tell y'all like this. As much as I think Terrence Crawford could be competitive with Canelo and dare I say win, we don't know what he going to look like at 168. We talking about a guy going from 47 all the way to 68. Right? So you going from 47 to 68. Remember, I had Jermell Charlo listed as my favorite fighter. He not that no more. It's the reason why he not that no more. But I respect how he moved. As far as prior to the Canelo fight, he showed me he had that line in him, that dog, that he'll never lay down. That he'll, you know, in the midst of fire, he gonna throw big shots, let big power shots go, and willing to go out on his shield. That's what he showed me before that. All of the same things that Terrence Crawford showed me, right? Before Jermell Charlo fought Canelo, he looked like a motherfucker that'll just come eat your food. That's what Mel looked like. Terrence Crawford right now look like the type of motherfucker that's just gonna come eat your food. A real killer. But when you get in the ring with Canelo and you moving up in weight, Mel jumped 2 weight classes. He went up 2 weight classes. We talking about Bud going up 3. How he gonna feel when one of them left hooks whiz across his head? How he gonna feel when he block one of them body shots from Canelo, but you can still feel it? How he gonna feel when Canelo land one of them over them sweeping right hands on his forehead? Is Bud gonna throw punches back? Is Bud gonna let his hands go? Is Bud gonna be the same Bud that fought Earl Spence, David Avenesian, Jose Benavidez, Thomas Delorme? We gonna see the same Terrence Crawford? We don't know. We don't know. Because it's different when you step in there. He ain't ever been hit by nobody like Canelo before. Crawford ain't never. It's different. It's different. So that's my only that's the only question. That's the only question. That's what I think that Buzz should do. Like, go to 68, fight somebody that's, you know, a true 68 pounder, but not nobody that's ranked high, not no contender. Just fight you somebody who you can go in there, whoop their ass, and you can get a feel for the division. Then you fight Canelo. That's what Charlo should have did. But he went up there thinking shit sweet, and you get in the ring and you feel that heat coming off of Canelo shots. Now you go into straight survival mode. You go into straight survival mode. You know what I'm saying? Now, Terrence Crawford, shout out to Terrence Crawford. He did say to a fan who responded to a tweet about him fighting Canelo, he said, "Don't sell out for no check." Shout out to that fan for saying that, because that's a real thing. Motherfuckers real sell their ass for a bag. You know, and sell out their fan base too. Because they'll talk all this shit, talking about what they gonna do. They gonna knock out this dude. They gonna go up there and put it all on the line. And you know, I'm a real dog, lines only. I'm finna kill shit. And then you get in there in the first couple of rounds, you feel that heat, and now you in that bitch laying down and trying to survive. So Terrence Crawford said, "Never that. I'm not Charlo. I ain't finna just go in there and lay down and sell my ass for a check." Let me tell you why I believe Terrence Crawford. And I could still be wrong because I thought the same things that I'm thinking about Bud right now, I thought that about Mel. The same things that I'm thinking about Bud right now, as far as like how much of a killer and dog he is, how much he ain't never gonna lay down. No matter who across the ring in there with him, he gonna let his hands go and go for the gusto and try to win. I thought that about Mel. But when he got in there with Canelo, he realized he was fighting somebody that was 2 weight divisions bigger than him. And dare I say, more skilled. And more of a dog. So, but let me tell you why I believe Terrence Crawford, though. The reason I believe Terrence Crawford is because he already got his bag. Terrence Crawford already got his payday. He just made more than $20 million with Errol Spence. And we're not even talking about how much money he made as a result of that fight. The appearances, endorsements, social media prowess grows now. You can monetize that. There's so much that Terrence Crawford gained in terms of money and status from the Errol Spence fight. He good. The same way Earl said he don't have to pick up another glove in his life if he don't want to. You think Terrence Crawford got to fight again if he don't want to? You think Bud got to ever lace up the gloves ever again? Hell no. So the fact that he even going after Canelo let me know that he really think he can beat Canelo. That he really feel like he can win. That he really won't smoke. That's why I believe Bud. That's why I believe that he won't lay down. Because Jermell Charlo, before he fought Canelo, he never had his big bag. Yeah, he was getting paid, decently, handsomely over the course of his career. Big ass crib in Texas, multiple foreign cars. You know what I'm saying? Acres of land, living real good. But he had never had his Canelo Alvarez big payday moment. Terrence Crawford already had his big payday. He not fighting Canelo just for the bag. He want to fight him to show that he better than anybody in the sport. That he #1 pound for pound for real. I think that shit already proven, but he want to take it even a step further. That's why I believe Bud wouldn't lay down. Said Bud versus Plant at 168. I wouldn't make that my first fight. I wouldn't make that my first fight. If I'm Bud, I would fight like a come forward fighter. Like a come forward fighter, I don't want to say Mexican, but it could be anybody that's coming forward and uses pressure and tries to cut the ring off. I will fight somebody like that. Like bro said, a Munguia. I would rather see Bud fight a Munguia at 168 than to fight Plant in your first fight. You know what I'm saying? Because Plant with the reach, the counter ability, the size, for your first fight up there, that's going to be kind of weird. Like, that's going to be tricky for Terrence Crawford. You ain't never fought in that division. You go up there and you fight Caleb Plant. And I don't think that fight going to get him prepared for Canelo. You need to fight somebody who stylistically going to fit you. And then on top of that, they similar to Canelo in ways that could kind of give you a look. And then they not like too dangerous. Now, Munguia would be a dangerous fight for Bud in his first fight at 168. But I'd rather see him fight somebody like Munguia before Plant in your first fight up there. To help you get ready for Canelo, I think Munguia. But that's not even the move, though. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to make a statement, you go whoop Munguia ass and then fight Canelo. Everybody going to be calling. All the Mexicans going to be calling for that fight. Everybody going to be calling for that. If Bud go whoop Munguia and then you get ready for Canelo, or you whoop Munguia, that fight going to sell itself. Everybody gonna want to see the Canelo fight after that. But I wouldn't even go and fight Munguia. I'll fight a middle of the road dude. You feel me? Who's a true 168 pounder, just to see how I take his punches and see how he take my punches. That's what I do. And then you fight Canelo. I'm only saying this because I don't want to see Bud fight Canelo off no layoff. You know what I'm saying? He really don't need, like, he not the type of fighter that need a tune up for real, but that inactivity will kill you. So he gotta have some type of activity. You can't just walk in that bitch and fight Canelo off no layoff. Y'all heard what Canelo said after he beat Jamel? I don't know if people picked up on that shit. Did y'all hear what Canelo said in the ring post-fight when they put the mic in front of him? Did y'all hear what Canelo said? I don't think many people picked up on that shit. Canelo said, nobody beats this Canelo. I think people got to realize Canelo's still, like, in his prime. Canelo ain't slowed down. He's still in his prime. Yeah, he got a lot of tread on the tires, but he's still in his prime right now. And I think after he got that, he overcame that hand injury, he feeling better now. And then that performance that he put on versus Mel, that shit got him feeling good. He said, nobody beats this Canelo. With Canelo having that mentality right now, he dangerous, bro. That man dangerous. He dangerous. And I'll say this, I know he's been actively avoiding David Benavidez. That's a fact. But I still don't see what everybody else see, like with Benavidez. I think Benavidez tough. He really like that. That's a fact. He really like that. But when it comes to Canelo, I can see Canelo stopping him to the body. I'm not even gonna cap. I can see Canelo stopping Benavidez to the body. Shout out to the brother Stanley E in the building. What's good? Said it's his confidence when he sees fear, he's different. Yeah, for real. D Lucky said, I heard that. Yeah, bro. I think a lot of people like miss that shit. He said, nobody beats this Canelo. When a motherfucker say that, and this ain't just no regular fighter. We talking about when you at the top of the game, and when a motherfucker say some shit like that, bro, they feeling good, bro. That let me know he feeling healthy. He done overcame any injuries. He been working on his skill and his craft so much to where he like, ain't none of these motherfuckers fucking with me. He done been in the ring with all of the top guys, with a lot of the best fighters across the planet. And he like, shit, I done seen everything. And I finally got one of these Charlos on my record. Man, ain't none of these motherfuckers fucking with me. That's how Canelo feeling right now. Said Bud need a Darrell fight first. Oh, I like that. Big Tex 33. I like that. That would be the perfect opponent. A counterpuncher, true 168 pounder, already been stopped. Older guy, middle of the road at this point. Darrell he like to get aggressive. He like to come forward and throw shots at times. That's what got him knocked out versus Caleb Plant. I like that. A Crawford versus Darrell for his first fight at 68. I like that. That's a good one. That's a good pick. You get a chance to see how you feel against a legitimate 168 pounder, a guy who got skill, experience. I like that. That's a good one. Said, man, tell Canelo to say that shit to Bivol. Hey, I think he meant at 168. I think he meant at 168. Nobody beat this Canelo at 168. That's what I think he meant. But you're right, though. He not fucking with no Bivol. We seen that. I don't think Canelo fucking with Bivol or Better BF at 175. But at 168, I think Canelo can beat anybody, bro. I think Canelo can beat... I'm not saying that he beats everybody at 168, but I think he can beat everybody at 168. That includes Benavidez, David Morrell, Terrence Crawford if he go up there. Anybody going up there to 168 fucking with Canelo, it's a good chance you're going to get your ass whooped. I'm just keeping it 100. But the two guys that I give the best chance to beat Canelo would be David Benavidez and Terrence Crawford at 168. I think Canelo stops Munguia. I think Canelo beats David Morrell. That fight ain't gonna never happen anyway, because Morrell, by the time he even get to that point, Canelo probably gonna retire. But I think Canelo beat David Morrell too. I think he can beat all these dudes. I ain't gonna lie. At 168, Canelo can beat everybody. Said Better BF will destroy Canelo. At 175, yes. 175, fuck yeah. Canelo not fucking with none of them dudes. Bivol or Better BF. At 175, he not fucking with neither one of them. He not fucking with neither one of them. But, man, so I'm about to get on up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody for pulling up, man. This is our first live in a long time. We had to get some shit figured out with YouTube, man, but we back. I appreciate y'all for pulling up. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. If you came in late, catch the replay. Rewind that bitch back. We gonna keep going up, you feel me? We got more videos coming, more shorts. Watch the shorts, y'all. Watch the shorts. You feel what I'm saying? I love uploading shorts because that's my opportunity when I'm out and about, when I'm working, when I just want to get some shit off real quick. Man, it's so convenient, and I'm able to get content to y'all real quick. So pay attention to the shorts. You feel what I'm saying? And we're going to do more lives as well, man. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all have a phenomenal Friday. Enjoy y'all self, man. Be safe out here. God bless, man. Contender regime. Boxing, I'll holler at y'all, man. Hold it down.